Well, here we are again at Harrogate, this time for the Harrogate Spring 2017 show. And I'm going to have a quick whiz around the stand. I started at the front there. Now this time I'm focusing on hostas that have been significant in the development of the genus, and the central section there I've focused on Hosta venusta, which is the smallest of the species. And I've got two towers in front of that poster. The one on the left is a venusta tower, so every variety in that tower is a venusta derivative. And in the second tower it's tardiana, which is another species, but it's a smaller species, and I've got a board there saying about it. And it's quite interesting to look at how subsequent varieties have been bred from those species and how the characteristics are maintained or enhanced through successive generations. So that's the little section. And over here I've done Hosta montana, which is among the first of the varieties to emerge in the spring. And I've just got a collection of Montana types underneath there. It's very unusual for me to have leaf for Harrogate show. Quite often I'm showing asparagus, but the lovely weather in East Anglia has helped the plants come along brilliantly, so I actually wasn't able to use a couple of plants because they've been way too crowded. So that's the Montana section, and we'll walk round here past the fantastic lilies that Lorraine there has been putting together. Fantastic, aren't they? What a lovely backdrop for the cool greens of the hostas. Round to the other side, which is Hosta seboldiana, which is, to all intents and purposes, another plain green leaf, but it's actually spawned one of the more significant branches of the genus through the occurrence of Hosta elegans, or Seboldiana elegans. And obviously the blue there is pretty significant. When you look at the Tardiana group of hostas, which was bred by a UK breeder called Eric Smith, he bred elegans crossed with tardiflora. And I've got tardiflora here. Shiny green leaves with fantastic substance to them. Very pest resistant. The best thing about the Tardiana group is the colour. I mean, people are fairly familiar with June and Halcyon and so on. I've got Devon Blue with me, but probably less familiar with the fact that Hosta Neptune has got its roots firmly in the Tardiana group. And coming around here, I've got a lovely plant called Morning Dove with a very sad name, but again, you can see that fantastic shape of leaf. And the texture to these plants is brilliant. There's Hosta Autumn Frost, which is beginning to show its beautiful margins now. Last year the margins weren't quite so pronounced because the plants were more immature. And again, we've come down. If you come down to the front here, we've got another familiar favourite, Hosta Blue Mouse Ears, which has got Seboldiana origins next to Mrs. Minky, that's also got Seboldiana origins. So it's quite interesting to see how the plants have developed. But the Tardiana group really are a fantastic group of plants. They are pretty sun tolerant as well to boot. So they've got brilliant colour, great pest resistance, and some of them are through faster than others, and it depends on their how closely related they are to Tardiana, and to tardiflora should I say. Because tardiflora comes through fairly sharpish in the spring, whereas elegans is on the drag. Usually elegans is not starting to show until sort of May, June time to show its colour and its texture. So I thought that was quite an interesting piece to pull out. And when we come round inside the horseshoe, this is where I've put all the cultivation information and the sort of general, these are hostas, this is how you look after them, and so on. So I had to bring Spartacus round here to show because I haven't got room to put it round the other side, so it couldn't be with its Seboldiana relatives. It's had to come round here, and then I've also featured undulata, which is often called a species, but it's not. It's a hybrid. And I've taken part in the Give It Some Welly competition with a pair of Andrew's old discarded Wellington boots, and in there I've planted a lancifolia and a silver lance to show the type of plants that you can actually eat, just as the leaves rather than the shoots, and a little board about eating hosta. As I say, I come round here. Another plant I couldn't fit on the display was Montana Aurea marginata. I get my words out in a moment. Beautiful, beautiful leaves, but I didn't have room to show it off, so I thought actually I'll cut the leaves off and put them in a dish here, just showing how creating a water barrier and using metallic containers can help prevent pest damage. So coming around here, and I've got my jar for the slug pellets, another metallic container, and just round to the corner here, a little bit about the soil mix we use to bring on our sales plants, and obviously the parents as well. And finally, a little reminder of our plant heritage status. It's actually our 10th anniversary this year of holding the collection, which is quite an achievement. It's still quite noisy in the hall because we're finishing off. We'll all have to go out of the hall very soon for judging. I'll just bring you around to the table, because what we've done with the sales table this time is actually replicated the particular hosta species that these plants relate to. So we've mirrored the stand again and offering the plants that we have available for sale, and we've grouped them according to whether the Saboldii types, Tardiana types, Venusta types, Montana, Tardiana, and Saboldiana. So we've grouped them together with all their details, and that's that for this year.